You think being feared makes you powerful. Machiavelli knew it's the fastest way to lose everything if you do it wrong. The phrase echoes in boardrooms and backrooms. It is better to be feared than loved. It's treated as a license for tyranny, a justification for cruelty. But this is a dangerous misreading. It is the wisdom of the amateur. Those who quote the first half of the thought forget the crucial second half, if you cannot be both. And more importantly, they ignore Machiavelli's true golden rule, the one that separates the temporary tyrant from the ruler who endures. The real warning is not about being unloved. It is about being hated. Love is fickle. Fear is a constant. But hatred is a poison. It is the seed of your own destruction, planted in the hearts of those you rule. Fear keeps people in line. Hatred inspires them to burn your world to the ground, even if they get caught in the fire. Understanding this distinction is the first and most critical step in the real art of power. Consider the new manager, promoted from the ranks, who feels the need to establish immediate authority. They cancel privileges, micromanage tasks, and deliver criticism in public. They create an environment of anxiety. Their team is afraid. Afraid of missing a deadline, afraid of speaking up, afraid of being singled out. The manager mistakes this silence for respect. They see compliance and believe they have command, but beneath the surface, resentment is taking root. This is the precipice where fear curdles into hatred. Machiavelli understood this with absolute clarity. Fear is a rational response to predictable consequences. An employee fears being fired for poor performance. A citizen fears punishment for breaking a just law. This fear is impersonal. It is a tool for maintaining order. Hatred, however, is deeply personal. It arises not from the enforcement of rules, but from the experience of injustice, cruelty, and contempt. A feared leader is an obstacle to be navigated. A hated leader is a target to be eliminated. The former inspires caution, the latter inspires conspiracy. Machiavelli anchors this principle in the most primal human motivations. He is not a philosopher of the clouds. He is a student of the gutter, of the things that truly drive men to desperation. He writes, and I quote, "Above all things, a prince must abstain from the property of his citizens and subjects and from their women. For men forget more quickly the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony." Let that sink in. He's not speaking metaphorically. He's making a brutally practical observation about human nature. People will endure hardship. They will tolerate a severe leader. They will even mourn their dead and move on. But they will never forgive the one who takes their property, their livelihood, their dignity. Seizing what someone has earned or violating their personal honor is an act of contempt. It says, "You are nothing, and what is yours is mine for the taking." This is the act that transforms a subordinate into an enemy for life. To command respect without breeding resentment, you must be the enforcer of consequences, not the source of injury. Your authority must be a shield for the group, not a sword against it. Be severe when necessary, but never be rapacious. If you appreciate this deeper look into Machiavelli, let the algorithm know by liking this video. Now picture the chief executive who announces mass layoffs to improve the company's bottom line. The action is severe, and it creates fear throughout the organization. This is a calculated risk. But then weeks later, news breaks that the same CEO received a multi-million-dollar bonus for their strong financial stewardship. The fear that was once a manageable element of corporate life now explodes into white-hot contempt. The layoffs were not a shared sacrifice. They were a transfer of wealth. It was an act of taking. This is the fatal error. This is where a leader becomes hated. The principle is not just about a prince seizing a farmer's land. It is about a leader taking credit for a subordinate's work. It is about a manager enforcing rules on others that they themselves do not follow. It is about any act that demonstrates profound disrespect for the property, effort, and dignity of others. Machiavelli's warning is timeless. When a leader is seen as predatory, their subjects have nothing left to lose. And a man with nothing to lose is the most dangerous enemy you will ever create. To be feared, but never hated, is the tightrope every true leader must walk. The takeaway is this: your power must be rooted in principle, not personality. Your punishments must be for transgressions of the rules, not for slights to your ego. The fear you inspire should be the fear of a predictable, just, and unwavering system that you, yourself, are subject to. People should fear the consequences of their own actions, not the unpredictability of your mood. When you take from people their security, their credit, their dignity, you are no longer a leader, you are a predator. And predators eventually are always hunted. Think of the family patriarch who controls his adult children with the threat of disinheritance. He uses his wealth as a weapon to dictate their choices, their careers, their partners. They fear his disapproval because they fear the financial consequences. For decades, he mistakes their compliance for loyalty, but on his deathbed, he finds himself surrounded by obligation, not affection. He is isolated because the fear he cultivated was born of contempt. He took from them their autonomy, their right to build their own lives. He seized their patrimony before they could even inherit it. He was feared, and then he was hated, and finally he was simply left alone. His power bought him control, but it cost him everything that mattered. Your reputation for justice is your only true armor. Command respect through your unwavering principles. Inspire fear of your standards, not of your whims. And above all, never, ever be despised. For contempt is the one debt that is always repaid in full. Have you ever seen a leader confuse fear with hatred? What was the result? Share the story below. If you seek to understand the architecture of power, subscribe for more strategic insights. And now, watch the video on your screen for a deeper analysis of the 5 mistakes that will guarantee you lose the respect of your team.